Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
And this is Mac.
And this episode has been a long time in the making. There has been a lot of behind the scenes work that has been going on the Grand Sumo Breakdown podcast. And we are finally ready to make a very big announcement that could change the landscape of sumo in the United States.
Nay, the world.
No, yes, and thank you. Give it the actual pomp it deserves. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about this project. I just don't want to put all of my eggs in one basket and get too excited, but this is big. So we are announcing the creation of a brand new sumo league, sumo federation, sumo promotion.
I think legally it's an association, but for practical purposes, it is the second professional sumo wrestling league in the world. After, of course, Pro Sumo, but
yes, that's right. You and Mac have talked to many amateur sumo wrestlers, and they have clubs set up across the nation. What we are doing is we are creating a league, an association, if you will, of professional sumo wrestlers that we hope will grow to rival Grand Sumo in Japan. We are calling it the League of Iowa Extreme Sumo. There's been a lot of work going on behind this. And so, Jake, why don't you tell people a little bit more about what we have in store for them?
Well, the gist is, we've got a lot of people we've interviewed, people we've recruited behind the scenes. I'm not sure exactly who we can say. I mean, we've signed a lot of NDAs over the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
But I'm not sure what we can reveal other than that former Yokozuna Hakuho is somewhat involved. Just saying.
Jake, we can't legally, we cannot.
I'm not saying how he's involved. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Well,
the legal matters of this thing have been insane.
Yeah, no, Mac actually went to law school at night over the last couple of years to prepare for this.
See these bags under my eyes? How do you think I got them?
That's right.
I mean, you wake up at like 5 a.m. to work out. No wonder you're miserable all the time.
4:30, but yes.
Regardless, though. Effectively what we're looking at here is we're starting in Iowa, but we're looking to expand. We figured Iowa has a very firm base for, wrestling sports and such.
Obviously, yeah. University of Iowa, you had, oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. The Cyclone that went undefeated at Iowa State, Cale Sanderson.
Thank you. Okay. I was going to say, Ryan, I was about to give you so much shit for that.
Many other Iowa historic figures in wrestling, and now we're trying to make sumo wrestling a part of that.
Several of which figures are also attached to the project, but can't say exactly who and how. But keeping the lips sealed on that one for a little bit. But anyways, what we're looking at expanding the rule set. Everybody who we've talked about this project is like sumo wrestling is like kind of neat, but it's like really boring. So we wanted to introduce a couple.
I say nay.
Well, I mean, they had a couple points, so we are spicing things up a little bit. As long as we're going to make it our own, as we're going to be touring the greater Iowa as promoters of this new professional sport. We decided to make a couple twists to it. Do you guys want to cover like the basic rules first, or?
Yeah. Let's go.
We might as well, and then we can get to like we're going to have some announcements on like locations and some names and some sponsors and stuff like that. We'll cover that later. But yeah, I mean, to get a feel for, what the League of Iowa Extreme Sumo is going to look like here, why don't we talk about the rules? Mac, why don't you tell us the format we're looking for?
Well, basically, are we going to dive straight into like how we're having the brackets set up, or
what's an event going to look like? When,
all right.
When
128
comes to your town.
Yeah. 128 wrestlers per event. There's quadruple elimination brackets. You're going to have your chance to win.
Yeah.
Best 3 out of 5. That's the best. That's truly
each
the only
individual
way to solve
match.
this.
Yeah. And then you have to lose 4 of them to be eliminated. We just want everybody to get their fair shake. And with that many, we feel like we could probably fill an hour or 2 with those matches, right?
So at minimum, even if you lose every single match, you're still wrestling 12 times.
Mm-hmm.
And now, who doesn't want to see the worst of the worst wrestle over and over and over.
Nah, but they're not going to be the same types of wrestling matches over and
That's a
over.
good point.
That's
Each
where
one-on-one
that's
match
where
is
we
gonna
set
be
ourselves
special.
apart.
Yeah.
So your first match, regular international rules. I mean, again, standard rules apply from the Japanese circuit. Pretty cut
The
and
boring
dry.
stuff, but
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
we gotta
But
include
you
it.
have to start somewhere.
True.
Then you get to match 2, and then it gets spicy.
Match 2 is one arm tied behind your back. We're kind of debating on is it for both wrestlers or for just the guy who won the first match to kind of like even the odds, give a little comeback mechanic.
We've been running some test matches amongst the 4 of us. Flair's
yeah.
actually at the hospital recovering from one of the matches. That's why he's not here.
Yep.
Don't worry. He'll be back in plenty of time for the Natsu preview episode.
He just had a dislocated neck, but
Yes.
prognosis is 2 weeks rest and he'll be okay.
Yep.
The third type of match is one of my personal favorites, and that's the blindfolded match. Nobody can see. It's just pure feel and emotion.
On top of that, the blindfolded match, each member of the match is given like a baseball bat, and they have to spin around on the baseball bat, get nice and dizzy, and then the ref just places them as they land within the dohyo, and then they have to go. So the first half of the match, you're just feeling around trying to find the other person, hoping you're not stepping out of the ring, and then once they find each other, it just the most amazing sumo you can think of happens blindfolded, dazed, and confused.
One of our test matches was great. I mean, it was like silent. It was actually a stealth sumo match. I'd never seen that before, but Mac and Ryan were both dizzy, and it wasn't until Ryan started dry heaving from being dizzy that Mac was able to locate him.
Also true. I located him off of sound, but seriously, that sensory deprivation adds a whole new mechanic to the sport.
It's a whole new sport. Yeah, it's
totally. Absolutely. Then you get to the fourth match, which it wasn't one that we played with this for a little while, but I really kind of like how this came together. Opponents are handcuffed to each other.
That's right.
I wasn't wild about this until we tried it.
Yeah, and it's not just one hand handcuffed to the other hand, it's both hands handcuffed to your opponent. And so it's just, if you enjoy like Hoshoryu and his kick attempts, Chiyoshoma's been getting in that game. You've seen Tobizaru. It's basically all kick attempts all the time. Just people dancing around trying to trip their opponent. It's really a real intriguing spin on the sport of sumo. Some might not even call it sumo, but we do.
Some might, yes.
Some might.
I mean, this one goes a little bit back to our pro wrestling roots. You got the leather strap match where the opponents are tied together, but the sumo wrestling ring is not very large.
Yeah.
So when you're in a dohyo, we figured handcuffs would be a better way to do it, just to keep everybody nice and tight. It gets some good action.
Yep. And then if you are tied 2-2 after your first 4 matches, then we have match number 5. This is my favorite. This is where you see all of the innovation come into play. It is the bring your own weapon match. And I have to say, so far in our test matches, Gun is undefeated.
It's a high caliber strategy, but I'm interested to see how the meta is going to evolve.
Some people have been working on a pocket sand strategy where you just throw it into your opponent's eyes. You can't get another weapon faster than a gun, but if you throw the sand in the eyes, it might distract them long enough to avoid that first shot.
We're still working on that, though.
Yep.
But you got to make sure you're not still dizzy from round 3, because if you dry heave, then they know where you're at. Right, Ryan?
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
And in the playoffs, there's the extra stipulation of fans' choice. People in the crowd just. Well, I mean, we're playing with how they do the vote, but the fans in attendance get to vote on what rule or what weapon or whatever.
I
we're
say
legally
by chanting,
bound.
I mean, chanting really is the only way to do it. I mean, you can't really have a runoff ballot in the middle of a match. So
paper ballot, that's right out. That's gonna be too slow. But maybe it's just loudest screamed stipulation.
Yeah, we're still working out the kinks, but we have gotten enough investors in it. We've presented this idea to enough people. We've got the buy-in. So we have set up many events across the state of Iowa. Some of the best cities in the state that you can come across. We've got an event set up at Council Bluffs, Iowa. We've got an event set up in Slater, Iowa. We're even getting to Mason City, Iowa. And this one, I'm really excited.
Big leagues, boys.
That's the big one.
I'm really excited for this next one. This is a huge get. We are very excited to announce that we will be holding an event in Decorah, Iowa.
Yes.
That's right.
Luther called us back.
Yeah, that's
oh,
right.
all right. I missed
We
that
got
one.
the home of the Luther Vikings, Division III football powerhouse. They have committed to an annual event. And I think that's going to be the WrestleMania of our League of Extreme Iowa Sumo, held in Decorah, Iowa. Could not be more excited for that opportunity.
Yep, the medical waivers are ironclad. They have been sorted, reviewed, and
God, yeah.
approved.
No,
It's
safety first.
all perfect.
Safety first in the LIES.
Mm.
Yeah, it's, one thing I do have to correct you on, Ryan. My brother-in-law went to Luther and played football there. Not a powerhouse.
I'm just trying to.
Not, I mean, yeah. Okay, sorry. We got marketing mode.
Jake,
marketing mode.
focus, focus,
that's right.
focus.
It's okay. I'm sure I'll remember to cut this part out.
Yeah, exactly. So, in addition to our, I would say, unique tournament structure, once again, quadruple elimination, each matchup is going to be a best out of 5 series where the winner of 3 out of those 5 will move on to the next round. We're also going to have different types of arenas where you will be fighting. You will be wrestling in. Hi, Riley. Good night, my little baby. Have a good sleep.
Okay, so you see,
Hey,
Riley's
focus,
arena
buddy.
is going to be so fantastic because Ryan will come in and actually be the Goji for this one. He will start off the match just like that, and then the fastest to knock the opponent out gets a night-night.
Whoever is confused the least by me talking to my baby and telling her to go to sleep will probably be the winner of that match.
Some other things that we've modified the actual playing field. By popular demand, we've raised the dohyo even further than in the pros. Everybody's like, falling off the dohyo doesn't get people hurt enough.
Yeah.
So like we're raising it way up. We're also, instead of like having it made out of clay, we're kind of experimenting with this industrial grade lubricant. Just to make sure that everybody's on an even playing field. Nobody
Balance
gets too much
is
traction.
Key.
Yeah.
So
I'm a
no
personal
show
fan
would fail in this league.
of the sweet corn arena. I think that tested really well in studies. So I really want to see how well this actually works with.
Was that the
competitors.
proposal where it was like a ball pit around the outside, but instead of balls, it was corn?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And we also we expanded that idea a little bit. The dohyo is also just going to be about a foot deep of corn. So that one
Of course,
is the exact opposite of the industrial lubricant. Balance, not really key. Everybody's going to kind of be locked into position. It's all about the power to move your opponent. So
everyone in Iowa says corn is stability.
Exactly.
It's what my tattoo on my butt says.
Yeah. So speaking of corn, it wouldn't be a sumo tournament if we didn't have sponsors that were going to be providing a myriad of unique prizes to hand out to the tournament champions. And so we've got quite a few companies lined up for this. We got Farmco will be handing out a bushel of award-winning Iowa corn to the winner of every tournament.
A bushel is actually a lot more corn than you'd think.
Yeah.
For those outside of Iowa, it's like what, 1.25 cubic feet? That's like that's a big amount of corn.
So
It is
eating contests, hey.
It is exactly 4 pecks of corn.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. That's a much better visualization.
Yeah. Tractors Inc., they are going to be handing out a bucket of award-winning Iowa corn.
A bucket. Nice.
Yes.
Love it.
FarmersOnly.com will provide a free 3-month subscription to their service. You don't have to be lonely at FarmersOnly.com. Pigs and Cows and Friends Unlimited will hand out a basket of award-winning Iowa corn.
Oh,
So this
man.
is going to be like a
I
lengthy
love these
ceremony, like
awards.
Oh,
the
yeah.
show winners. Oh man, this is
Just like they do it over in Japan. There's a lot of people lining up to hand out.
I'd say
their-
better. I mean,
Yeah.
all they get over there is like what, a fish and like a giant fake cookie?
one macaroon and one
It's
fish.
not even real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. No, we're giving you something actually genuine and delicious.
That's right.
Mhm.
And the list goes on. Monsanto Company will pay 0.1% of your medical bills after you are exposed to their herbicide, which you will after receiving a bushel of award-winning Iowa corn. And finally, Cyclones LLC will hand out a bin of award-winning Iowa corn.
Oh, that's nice. That's just so nice.
I've always said Monsanto is the most ethical company in Iowa. That's they're really something. And
Yeah, exactly. There's
Yes.
not many companies that will offer to pay part of your medical bills after
Mhm.
almost intentionally poisoning you.
They almost
No.
never stiff anyone on their hush money in lawsuits. It's great.
No.
No.
Mac,
Um,
you're that lawyer. You've like passed the bar exam, right?
What?
Like you are a lawyer now, right?
What's a lawyer?
Jake, scrub the Monsanto stuff.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm sure I'll remember to edit that out.
What did I go to night school
Um,
for?
I do think that we should also thank our platinum sponsors, or as we call them here, the Maze Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
Yes.
Our biggest donation that really got us off our feet was from some. It's a I believe they're like a second-rate sumo podcast out of Texas. We got Sake and Sumo actually gave us our first $1 million, which
Mhm.
I'm
Oh,
sure
bless
that
their
I'm sure that check
hearts.
is going to clear.
Yeah.
We'll have our lawyer Mac contact them.
Oh,
to
totally,
make
yes.
sure that
Like,
goes.
It really didn't make much of a difference. I mean, it was like really a drop in the bucket of what we were providing.
But it was the drop that really got
It
us
was
like
the
off our
drop
butts.
that
you know? Yeah.
provided, as the ethanol industry knows, just one drop of that sweet Iowa corn can make a big difference.
That's right.
So that really got us our start, but our continuing support, our ability to bribe the
No,
our ability
we
to
can't
make
say that.
contact with Monsanto and
Thank you.
really solidify that relationship came from the most ethical sumo podcast out there, Sumo Punks.
Mhm.
I know they're always looking for ways to hook up corporations with the little guy. Sumo Kaboom, Mac, they actually worked through you through our legal department, but yeah,
Yes.
they helped us out as well.
Yes, they did. So they provided all of the actual key contacts that we thought would be good and thought, well, you know what? We have just run up and met so many of these wonderful people at all these different events. They said, hey, you really need to talk to this guy. It's really great. We would do anything for them. So they were the ones that really put us in contact with a lot of the other sponsors.
Exactly. And if you are looking to become a professional sumo wrestler, you should reach out to Sumo Kaboom through every social media channel available to you.
Absolutely. They are the ones to reach.
And then Sumo My Nietsche, I mean, couldn't leave them out. That just another sumo podcast. There's a lot of these, mid-tier podcasts out there, like all these four guys that reached out to us for helping us. They're all the way in Australia, and I'm not sure that I do feel like it's appropriate to mention them. All they did was send us just a large. Just a big cooler full of deadly insects from Australia, which, to be fair, did motivate me to keep putting in a push to make this happen.
Yeah, remind me to send them a thank you letter for sending that cooler directly to your house and not to mine. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, no, there's a reason that I have this camera angle. My feet are so swollen that they don't fit into socks anymore.
So that's kind of just the big announcement that we have. Those are big overarching things that we're wanting to do with this. Like Jake said, we're starting off in Iowa, but we plan on bringing that Iowa brand across the globe. Hopefully within just at least 2 or 3 decades, we'll make it big enough and be able to spread GSB League of Extreme Iowa Sumo across the globe.
The Iowa Nice is contagious. This is how it starts.
So you can start by donating hundreds of dollars to our Patreon as well. That is always
that would
a
also
plus.
help.
Get on our Maze Hall of Fame for sponsors, and maybe your city can be next.
That's right. So kind of like we do at the end of all of our recap podcasts where we talk about what is the favorite thing from the Basho that you saw, I'd like us to all go through and say what we're looking. Well, actually, no, it's more like a preview episode where we say what we're looking forward to most.
We got so much going on. We're just so excited. Ryan's a little frazzled.
So yeah, let's each go through and just talk about what we're looking forward to most with the launch of the League of Iowa Extreme Sumo. So Jake, why don't you tell us what you're looking forward to most with this new league?
Well, I think match stipulations is really the thing for me. Like we've said, sumo, like traditional sumo it's just stale. It's been around long enough. It's not that interesting anymore. And we have all sorts of kinks we can put into the game here, from like watching pro wrestling. I follow MMA. I bring that up on pretty much every episode. What I'm most excited for was, the in WWE, what they've done in the past, for some events, they have like the Ring of Fire, right?
Mhm.
So they have like flames around the entire ring. We actually have the Wrestlers of Fire stipulation where we light both competitors on fire when
We're
say
still working
"Hakioi."
on that legally. I still have the paperwork to go through.
I'm fairly confident that's perfectly legal if they sign a waiver.
Yep.
But yeah, that's just one of many surprise stipulations to come. I
And
think it's gonna be great.
Don't worry about their safety. That's another one of our specialized arenas where the outside of the dojo will be just completely filled with water. So they'll be fine after the match.
Of course.
And it's usually a foot race. It's like a reverse Tachiya like Ura. It's usually a foot race in either direction to jump into the pool. So really, it kind of turns into a game of chicken at the Tawara. Who's going to jump off first? It's really just a whole nother level of mind games, which we're all about here at Grand Sumo
Oh,
Breakdown.
totally.
It's really something that I think Fleric is going to be much better at his second attempt at it.
Yes.
God rest his soul.
What about you, Mac? What are you most excited for this League of Extreme Iowa Sumo?
The thing that I am most excited for about this one is the essence of Iowa that we're bringing into the league itself. Namely, what I'm talking about is the weather arena. I know we were going to save that, but this arena summarizes the essence of Iowa in that the competitors start in nice, simple dojo, and then 30 seconds into the match, you have rain. The dojo is wetted. You have mud everywhere. 30 seconds later, you have hail. 30 seconds later, it continually changes. We've got all the different weather systems. We've got the derechos. We've got the hurricanes. We've got tornadoes. We've got blizzards, all contained within our specialized arena. And I think the fans are going to love the essence of Iowa that this is going to bring.
And we do definitely need to dial down the tornado machine, at least until we can locate our intern, Danny.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had it at F4. I didn't realize it would be that powerful for Danny.
In such a small bar, that really did the trick.
Sorry.
I would say the thing that I'm looking forward to most is probably the nudity. I'm just going to leave it there. So
interpret that how you like.
Yes, indeed.
That'll be a surprise for our spectators.
Yes.
That's right. Just a little tease. Tease.
Followed by inevitably a pretty big tease.
Oh, yes.
Or, depending on the competitor, a little tease. All right, that is all we have. Look forward to more details for the League of Iowa Extreme Sumo launching in the fall of 2059.
That was the closest I could get it. I'm sorry.
Yep. So we hope you all join us there at our first event in Council Bluffs, Iowa, October 23rd, 2059. We will see you there.
Dingy parking lot out back of Sticky Nick's.
That's right.
Actually,
anyway,
that parking lot's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not the dingiest, but
no.
Anyways,
not
the
for Council
glory
Bluffs,
hole
no.
has duct tape around it, so
it is definitely nicer than it was.
yeah.
But anyway, so next, let's obviously move on to the other main reason we were here. We really wanted to get out GSB's official position on Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
and keep moving forward.